2 years ago, the Kansas City Chiefs were on the right side of the injury ledger, but last season not so much, and it was reflected with a 9-7 mark. The Chiefs were the second healthiest team in the league 2 years ago and finished 11-5, but were 26th in the health department a year ago. Kansas City lost its spiritual leader, Derrick Johnson, in Week 1 last year due to an Achilles tear, and he wasn't the only one to go down the opening week. Mike DeVito tore his Achilles as well. It was a sign of things to come. The biggest blow came when Pro Bowl safety Eric Berry was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which he overcame during the offseason. Justin Houston had the quietest 26 campaign in NFL history. I mean, he was extraordinary and finished just a half sack shy of Michael Strahan's all-time mark. But nobody's really talking about it. That kind of just shows how good J.J. Watt was a year ago. Houston got simply overshadowed. The Chiefs became the first team since the 1970 AFL-NFL merger to not have a single wide receiver catch a touchdown pass. That's why Kansas City threw a bunch of money at Jeremy Maclin. The Chiefs also drafted Chris Conley in the 3rd round and picked up Jason Avant, a longtime protege of head coach Andy Reid and Maclin's former teammate in Philadelphia. KC also went out and improved its offensive line after allowing 49 sacks a year ago, the 26th most in the league. There were a lot of games where Alex Smith had no time to throw and was left scrambling for his life. Although Rodney Hudson didn't return, the Chiefs sent a 5th-round pick to the Saints for Ben Grubbs and signed tackle Paul Faneca. We'll see what happens with Eric Fisher, who recently lost his left tackle job to Donald Stephenson. So, before I go position by position, make sure you click on that description box below. I've got ratings, player ratings, unit rankings, all that good stuff. So make sure you check it out. The former #1 pick, Alex Smith, he's not going to wow anybody with his physical talents, but his football IQ for a quarterback is one of the best in the game. And during the Andy Reid era in KC, Smith has tossed 41 touchdowns and just 13 interceptions. He's tough in the pocket and still mobile enough to extend the play. He makes quick decisions in that West Coast system. The problem, though, he's not the kind of guy that's going to put the team on his back. He's a glorified game manager, but he might be the best one at it. Chase Daniel, one of the best backups in the league, when he has to come in for an injury to Alex Smith or whatever, he's solid. At 29, Jamaal Charles is still very speedy and dangerous in the open field. He changes direction on a dime and very dynamic, catching passes out of the backfield. He's averaged at least 5 yards per carry in each of his 7 seasons in the league. Now, Davis is a solid backup and a change of pace. He's more of a powerful in-between-the-tackles runner. So how much of Jeremy Maclin's 2014 season was him or Chip Kelly's offense? Maclin had never gone over 1,000 yards before playing for Chip, and now he's in Kansas City, which possibly has the worst receiving core in the NFL. He's a very precise and crisp route runner with spectacular hands and great body control along the sideline. He can also beat you deep. If there is a weakness, he's not great going over the middle, but he's a huge upgrade over Dwayne Bowe. Somebody's going to have to emerge as the second fiddle to Maclin, however. Is it going to be Albert Wilson, DeAnthony Thomas, Avant, Frankie Hammond, or the 3rd-round rookie Conley? I'm looking at Wilson and Thomas. Wilson was a big play threat by the end of the year, while Thomas is a speedster who's dangerous in space and in the open field. Look for the 3rd-year tight end Travis Kelce to break out in a big way in 2015. He saw the field more and more as the season went along. After not seeing more than 50 snaps in each of his first 9 games, he surpassed that total in 6 of his last 7 contests. Kelce became Alex Smith's favorite target by the end of the year, and he finished with 67 receptions for 862 yards and 5 scores. But it's his exceptional blocking which has him in the top 5 of my tight end rankings, and he might even be a better run blocker than he is a pass catcher. He's right up there with Witten when it comes to setting the edge. He's effective both in line and on the move pre-snap. He uses his athleticism to get to the second level with ease and lock up linebackers. Kelce has very good speed for a big man to go along with the soft hands in the receiving game. He uses that speed to run the seam and has learned to use his frame to box out defenders. He does, however, need some improvement with his route running. I referenced Fisher earlier and how he lost his job to Stephenson, so what's going to happen, as the season goes along? Is he going to get bumped inside, kind of the way Robert Gallery was a decade or so ago? Gallery was taken, number 2 overall, but struggled as a tackle. He did, however, revive his career as a guard. For the time being, it looks like Fisher's going to start on the right side of the line. We'll just see if he lasts. I'm curious to see what kind of production the Chiefs get from Grubbs, who had a down season after several productive ones in both Baltimore and New Orleans. Jeff Allen is the other starter at guard, and second-round rookie Mitch Morse takes over for Rodney Hudson at center. The start of Dontari Poe's season is in doubt after having surgery on a herniated disc. At 6'3", 346, Poe's athleticism is extraordinary for a man his size. He posted 6 sacks a year ago, 10.5 over his last 2. That's exceptional for a nose tackle. It's due to his closing speed. Men of that size are not supposed to move the way that he does. And to go with his unique athleticism is his ox-like strength. He can shed blocks, get beyond the line of scrimmage, and can anchor and hold down fort against multiple blockers. As great as the numbers look last season with 6 sacks, I still thought Poe had a bit of a down year and wasn't as dominant as he was in 2013, but obviously still a very, very good football player. Jaye Howard will fill in as the starter in the meantime, while DeVito and Allen Bailey are the starters at defensive end. DeVito, like I said earlier, suffered that Achilles tear in week 1 last year, missed the season. He's technically sound, solid at setting the edge. Bailey was a guy who really surprised me last year. I thought he was pretty good. Has long arms, gets in the backfield, posted 10 tackles for loss last season. With 48.5 sacks over the past 4 years, only J.J. Watt has more than Justin Houston. But Houston is more than a one-trick pony. Well, let's talk about the pass rushing first because, the numbers are absolutely remarkable. He had just 8 quarterback hits and 56 hurries. Why are those 8 quarterback hits important? Because with 22 sacks, that tells me once he gets close to the cornerback, he seals the deal. And like I said, he's a complete player. His discipline and run defense is outstanding considering his threat as a pass rusher. He's very aware, instinctive, and fantastic at setting the edge, and with his remarkable strength, he does a great job of tackling and taking down the ball carrier to the ground. As you can imagine, due to his ability to get after the quarterback, he's not asked to drop into coverage a lot, but when he does hold his own, gets physical with tight ends, has the fluidity to drop back in zone coverage. Although he tallied just 6 sacks a year ago, and has been steadily declining over recent years, Tamba Hali is still a versatile player, and his ability allows Houston to not, have to face as many double teams. And to harp in on the 6 sacks, they could have been more, but Houston would close on the quarterback so damn fast and first. But Hali would be in position, so, if it wasn't for him, he'd probably be double-digit sacks. As a pass rusher, Hali's always had a high motor, and when he was at his best, his quickness and counter moves led to his success. He's excellent at setting the edge and run defense, and in coverage, he's very effective at dropping back, allowing just 1 completion all of last season. Derrick Johnson had missed just 1 game in 4 prior seasons leading up to 2014 and had made 3 straight Pro Bowls from 2011 to 2013. At 6'3", 240, Johnson has the perfect frame for the position and is another one of those rare 3-down linebackers. He can stop the run, rush the pass, or drop back into coverage. Uses his fantastic speed and instincts in the run game, and he uses his ability to scoot to make plays along the perimeter. Johnson times his blitzes extremely well. He flushes the quarterback and creates opportunities for the outside rushers. His read and react skills in zone coverage are top-notch. He has smooth hips, great closing speed. We'll see how he can bounce back from his injury. Josh Mauga is the other starter at inside linebacker. I like him as well. He was second on the team in tackles last year. D Ford provides depth outside, and rookies Ramik Wilson and DJ Alexander are inside linebackers. Eric Berry would have been second on my safety rankings if he was fully healthy, but I think it might take him a little bit of time to climb back into that top tier. So maybe by mid-season, maybe 3/4 into the season, we'll see the Berry of old. But for the time being, I put him at number 4. He and Earl Thomas were taken in the same draft. Berry went 5th. Thomas went 9 spots later at 14. When he is healthy, Berry's an athletic specimen. He has great closing speed, always in position when in coverage. In the open field, he gets from back pedal to sprint in a flash. As a run defender, he plays with good form and technique at his best, playing the edge. So, a really good player and a really great story to hear him come back from the lymphoma. He's okay. He's ready to ball. And, I'm rooting for the guy. I really am. Husain Abdullah is another solid safety, as are Ron Parker and Tyvon Branch. So the Chiefs go 4 deep at safety. If Berry's going to take some time to get reacclimated, they certainly have other options. Sean Smith doesn't get a lot of respect nationally, but when you turn on the tape, he's a top 10 corner in my opinion. Spent 4 seasons with the Dolphins before moving to Kansas City and has flourished in his first 2 seasons with the Chiefs. He will miss the first 3 games of the year due to a DUI. At 6'3", 218, he has size, power, and length and uses them all to his advantage in coverage. Maybe one of the reasons why Smith gets overlooked is because he doesn't put up high interception totals. He had just 1 last year and has never put up more than 2 in a season. Due to his power and lengths, he's very good at tackling in space. He had 50 a year ago, although he did miss 7 of them. First-round pick Marcus Peters is very intriguing talent. Didn't run fast at the combine, but for a press corner like him, I don't think a 40 time really matters. Just ask Richard Sherman. He has size, length, and athleticism, ball skills to be a good pro corner, but obviously he comes with character issues. He was kicked off the team at Washington his last season there. Phillip Gaines, solid ball skills, 3rd rounder. Steven Nelson is another guy I'm intrigued about. Cairo Santos will do the kicking. Dustin Colquitt will do the punting. Knile Davis will return kickoffs. And DeAnthony Thomas is one of the most electrifying punt returners in the game. So, prediction time for the Chiefs. I've got 10-6. And, I think the last wild card spot in the AFC is going to be decided between Baltimore and Kansas City. I both got them going 10-6. But they do play each other this year. And the game is in Baltimore. So, that is the reason why I have the Ravens making the postseason and not the Chiefs. But a 10-6 mark, it's a good record. Just not going to be enough this year, at least in my opinion, to make the postseason. So we shall see how it plays out. But I think that game in Baltimore is going to decide. Going to have at least it's going to have very high ramifications regarding the postseason picture. So we shall see. So with that being said, I am out of here. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at the Bitterbirds. So, yeah, I mean, if you disagree with me, if you think this is a playoff team, let me know in the comment section below. I'm out. Later.